The competition for who represents the top political parties in Edo State is one that will be closely contested as the search for who takes over from Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki heats up. The ruling People's Democratic Party will be the party to beat, as the incumbent will be hoping whoever gets to represent the party as the flag bearer will emerge victorious in September. However, the main opposition, All Progressives Congress, will be looking to cause a major upset to displace the PDP in Edo State, and one man that will be seeking to secure the ticket for the third term under the APC, or third time under the APC, is Pastor Osagie Ize-Iyamu. The two-time governorship candidate has insisted that he is still an aspirant for the September 21, 2024 governorship election in Edo State. He was reacting to rumors of his disqualification from the All Progressives Congress primaries next month. Reports emerged that Ize-Iyamu was among the 23 aspirants purportedly screened out of contesting the party's primary elections by Professor Julius Ihonvere-led committee in Abuja. Ize-Iyamu maintained that no screening committee disqualified him from contesting, even as he noted that allegations of interference in the party affairs leveled against Oshiomhole were baseless. Joining us on the morning show to discuss his ambition as he seeks to clinch the ticket for the third time under the APC is Pastor Osagie Ize-Iyamu. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning. Thanks for inviting me. I'm honored to be here. Good morning.
Well, good to see you again, Pastor Ize-Iyamu. I recall that, was it in 2019? Yeah, we had exactly more or less the same kind of conversation, and you are back in the race. But you need to clarify for us that this is not a wild goose chase, because 6 persons were selected, 2 from each senatorial district by the Ihonvere committee as persons who had been chosen by the party to run. But you are defying the party, and was it yesterday you took the expression of interest and nomination form? Does that not amount to defying the party and just putting your money where something may not come out, because the party may say you have not been shortlisted, but you are insisting on your right to contest, and maybe your right also to put your money where your mouth is? Can you clarify that you are actually in the race?
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Ruben.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning, Ruben. It's always a delight to sit with you. I'm sure you know that I'm a serious-minded person, and certainly I would not contest an election where I've been disqualified. There's no truth to the rumors making the rounds that some of us were disqualified. We've not reached that stage, and I'm surprised that the rumor persists, despite the fact that the National Working Committee of our party, which is the highest organ, and even our state chapter, has laid the matter to rest. Screening can only happen when people have gone to purchase forms, they have filled them, and they have returned them. Then the National Working Committee and no other person will constitute a screening committee to look at those who have submitted forms. Before now, we had not collected the forms, so we're not even aspirants properly so called. At best, you will call us aspiring aspirants. But the moment you pay for the form, like I did yesterday, I can now actually answer the name of an aspirant, because I have paid the expression of interest form, I have paid for the nomination form, and the party has given me the requisite forms to fill. So now I'm an aspirant, and it's only an aspirant that can be screened. And even when you screen, there is still a room for an appeal committee to look at any person who might be aggrieved by reason of the screening. All this have not been done. Screening will be done in February. So nobody can begin to screen people out when they have not even collected the form to show that they are genuine aspirants. So we have not reached that stage. What happened that people are making so much fuss about was just a committee set up to interface, not screen, interface with the aspirants and make a recommendation, not a decision, make a recommendation. And of course, you know, They met with us, and even before they made their recommendation, it was already in the public space. And many of us said, look, the integrity of the report is already being compromised. And we heard so many things, but I don't want to wash our dirty linen in public. What is important is that the national that should speak have spoken, and they have said, anybody that wants to go and collect form, please go and collect. And that will close on the 29th of this month. So nobody is bad. Nobody can be screened out. When it is time to set up a screening committee, the national said they will do so according to their timetable, which is in February. And then we'll submit ourselves to them. And if they disqualify anybody, we also have a right to appeal. And let me also say here too that the issue of disqualification is a serious matter. It's not what you do arbitrarily on the basis of your discretion. There are constitutional provisions which the party adheres to that will warrant somebody being disqualified. Because if you disqualify somebody unjustly, he has the right to go to court. So the party is conscious of it, and APC is a well-organized party. So we have not reached the level where you are talking about disqualification. What is important now is those who say they are interested. It's not enough to just say it. Show your seriousness, go and pay for the form, which I have done, and a couple of persons have done. As after the last count, I'm sure around 7 of us have paid for the form. So that 7 plus anyone that will also pay before the 29th will now be the legitimate, genuine aspirants. Everybody was saying they were aspirants before. We're just talking. What makes you an aspirant is that you have collected expression of interest form, you have paid for the nomination form, and then you become an aspirant. That process is on. So it's premature for anybody to talk about disqualification. We have not reached there. If the party in its wisdom decides to disqualify me, I'm a loyal party man. The moment they disqualify me, I'm out of the race. But I can tell you that we have not reached there at all.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for clarifying that. Even though the leader of the APC in your state, Senator Adams Oshiomhole, had said that he was back in that committee. So maybe my question then would be that how do you then gauge your chances in terms of the support of those who would be at the primaries to select or perhaps vote who would be the flag bearer of the APC in the state? And added to that would be that, as I mentioned during the introduction, it's your third term seeking office. What would you do differently now that Governor Obaseki has the incumbent factor, so he might be leveraging that? He also would be supporting, of course, the PDP flag bearer, whoever emerges. What would be your strategy different from what you've done in the past, especially now that you even still have to battle the acceptance and the support from your own party and then cross the hurdle of a cross-party election?
Well, the reason why in my party it appears that we have a crowded field is one, the general belief that the governor has not done well and that people need change. So because of that, everybody wants to offer himself for that position. And then number 2, every area of the state also feels marginalized. They feel that nothing has happened. And so there are people that beckon to them to say, look, it appears as if until we have a governor, nothing will happen in terms of development. So let's also sponsor our own. So there's a big cry all over the place for their sons to become governors. So that is why the field is so crowded. But the process is simple. In the APC, we have 3 modes of doing primaries. One could be consensus, everybody agreeing to support somebody. The second one could be direct primaries, all registered members going to vote in their various wards for their preferred candidate. And the third one is indirect, where we have to elect delegates who would gather together in Benin, the state capital, and vote for their choice. But the stakeholders of the party met with the national leadership, and we voluntarily agreed that we would prefer a direct primaries, which means all the members will vote. So we're talking about members voting in 192 wards, of the state. I'm confident that I would get the ticket because in terms of name recognition, in terms of antecedents, in terms of trust, and in terms of who our people are yearning for right now, I think to a large extent that will stand me out. I've gone around the 18 local governments of the state. And I can tell you that the reception I received in each local government, no other aspirant has been able to match that. So the issue is, I know my strength. I didn't just come out because I was so desperate. In fact, I took my time. But from all over the state, people kept talking to me to say, look, you know, you don't give up. We all want you. Every time we see this government, we all realize that you ought to be there. And, you know, based on their persistent call, I had to come out. So I'm very convinced that in the 192 wards, there's no way I will not have the upper hand. I'm convinced that I will win, and by the grace of God, I will win. Now, to your last leg of the question about what I would do differently. Well, twice I have contested, and funny enough, the first time it was in the PDP, and I'm sure you all know what played out. I won't go into that. The second one, again, it was in the APC. So the reality is that the two strongest parties in the state, at one time or the other, have given me their platform. That will tell you the kind of person that they think I am. Twice, the two biggest parties have said, Pastor, be a flag bearer. I'm not somebody that anybody can shove aside. I'm somebody that is deeply rooted in the minds of our people. They know me, they trust me. They see me as a homeboy. They see me as somebody that has a clear-cut agenda about how to solve the problems of the state. So the non-performance of the present governor gives me an edge. If the governor had done so well, and he was also bringing somebody that was very well known, well, you would say that, well, considering how well he has performed and who he's bringing, it's going to be difficult to challenge him. But you also know too that the PDP, I'm sorry to say, is a divided house. You know, he's fighting with his deputy, he's fighting with the legacy party, you know, and he's trying to introduce somebody that they don't know to be the flag bearer of the party. So quite honestly, I believe that, you know, this third time, I would win and win overwhelmingly. Again, Edo people, after going through all this, especially the last 8 years, are yearning for somebody that they know. They don't want to experiment again with who leads them. Okay. They are more than convinced that the past 8 years have been a mistake, and the only way to correct it is get somebody that they know, they trust. Somebody who has put forward an agenda of what he wants to do. Not somebody who just speaks and there's nothing to show about what he wants to do. So the issue of trust is very important. The issue of who they know is very important, and I fit all that requirement. And I can tell you that the support base has even become stronger over the years. So I'm confident I will win.
Okay, Pastor. Real quickly, who is this person that the governor wants to bring that people do not know? Can you tell us who? And can you tell us what you mean by people do not know him? They don't know his antecedents. I'm still asking some questions, sir. Pastor, please. Please, let me finish my question.
If you ask me,
let me finish my question, Pastor. Yes, you will answer. Please, I'll give you time.
Okay.
Secondly, this is the third time you are going for it. But this time is different. The first time you fought your way in the PDP, you got the ticket. The second time you had the backing of Adams Oshiomhole. Now, things are not too smooth amongst you people. Are you still loyal to Adams Oshiomhole? Is there any rift or rancor? And how do you think you can surmount it this time when you are already seeing the signs that the ticket might not go your way? And lastly, if in a case the ticket does not go your way, will you still run with another lesser party platform? Those questions, sir.
Thank you. Well, to answer, let me start with the last. Certainly, I'm in the APC. And I get the ticket, I don't get the ticket, I remain in the APC. I will support whoever gets it. Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, distinguished senator, and our leader, is a good friend of mine. We've come a long way. And he's a man with a strong character, just like myself. And anybody who knows our relationship will know that we disagree often to agree. So the reality is that any disagreement between us cannot be seen as a rift. For example, I mentioned yesterday that his son is getting married on Saturday in Abuja. I'm in Benin right now. I'm going there tomorrow. I'm going there on Saturday to attend. So he's not my enemy at all. He's my friend. And those who are saying he's not supporting me are saying what I may not even know, because our primaries is going to be 17th of February. I know that what Comrade desires the most is that APC will win the state. And he's watching development.
So there's a disagreement
if he
between you and
believes
Comrade.
that Pastor Ize-Iyamu will be the best.
So there's a disagreement
No,
between you and Comrade.
there's no serious disagreement. We can disagree sometimes on how things should be done, but there's no fundamental disagreement. Comrade cannot come in and say, please, there is come to my house, and I will say I will not go. There's no disagreement between us at all. There's no disagreement. You know, even if, let me tell you the truth, you said just now that he supported me last time, but you also recall too that my first time in 2016, he didn't support me. So life is dynamic. So what makes you think now that as we go down the finishing line for the primaries, he will not support me? What I need to do is to talk to him, to lobby him, and to impress on him that our chances of winning lies with me. But in any event, you know, he himself also will tell you that he alone cannot decide who will be our candidate. We are doing direct primaries in 192 wards, 192 wards in 18 local government areas. And the total membership of people that are going to vote, they are over 270,000. So the reality is that his support is important because he has people he can also talk to. But this matter goes beyond one man. And for me today, I refuse to believe that Comrade is against me. He's a leader. As much as possible, I know that he will keep his personal preference to himself, you know. But if he decides to support me, fine. If he decides to support somebody else, it's his right. But the important thing is that whoever the party finally brings out, all of us will support the person.
Okay, so I asked you about who is this so-called person you say they are bringing from outside? Who is this person? I say the governor.
Well, I'm not in PDP, and at my age, I must be a bit careful not to speculate too much. So I cannot categorically say, you know, but we hear all kinds of things. I even think you are in a better position, as being in the press, to tell me, look at, you know. So I'm a bit hesitant to begin to speculate. But time will tell who PDP wants to bring. But I'm not worried about that. I'm concerned about what is happening in APC. By the time we come up with our own, we would also see who they want to bring, and then we can begin to talk about ourselves.
Anyway, except that in my view, this point about somebody is from outside is not really a very strong argument. After all, Professor Ambrose Ali was teaching, I think, at the University of Ibadan when he came to be governor in
No, sir. No, it was in University of Benin.
It was in Benin?
My family supported late. Oh yes, he was a professor of morbid anatomy in the University of Benin.
Okay, but
he was staying on Atekenwa Road. You know,
but he used to teach
so
in Ibadan.
So I know his history. I know his history better than you, my brother.
But he used to teach in Ibadan.
He was somebody that was very well known, very well liked.
But he used to
yes, that was at the very beginning. But he moved to University of Benin,
okay.
And he was in University of Benin. He was in University of Benin for many years, okay. And very well liked, you know, by Edo people.
But Comrade Oshiomhole came from Kaduna, where he was leader of the textile union.
Oshiomhole,
he was a Kaduna man.
Oshiomhole had name recognition. Oshiomhole was all over the place. Don't forget that he was president of NLC.
Governor.
And he was seen as somebody that was fighting for the masses.
Governor
so
Obaseki.
That name recognition was what endeared him to Edo people. He had name recognition.
Governor Obaseki was an investment banker in Lagos, and he emerged as governor.
Obaseki, if you recall, Obaseki, with due respect to him, was an imposition that Comrade today is regretting. Comrade practically forced him on the APC at that time. And his election, I'm sure you remember that a day to the election, they had to postpone it. They cancelled it. I was at home getting set to move to my village when I saw a news break that the Edo election had been postponed. Why? They said, oh, there's no reason.
Anyway,
materials were already released by the central bank. All those were desperate measures to ensure that he won. So Osagie is not a good example of somebody who came from Lagos and won. But I'm telling you that on the street today, in every town and city of Benin, they are saying, and they have a right to say so, that whoever they want to support as governor must be somebody who has lived among them, somebody that they know, somebody that they trust. That is their opinion. If you think it's otherwise, then you can educate me. But I'm telling you that all my feedback, people are saying, never again will they support somebody that they don't know. They want to support somebody who has lived among them, somebody they can trust, somebody that's accountable, somebody that will respect them, not somebody that comes from outside the state and wants to govern them. That is the general impression.
Okay, but these people that people say came from outside the state, nobody has questioned the fact that they are bona fide Edo citizens who also have a stake, including people who may even be living abroad in diaspora.
Nobody can stop anybody from contesting. But let me also tell you this. There are people who live in the diaspora who have invested a lot in the development of our state. Who have, they live in the diaspora, they own houses in our state. They have houses in Benin.
Pastor,
they have businesses in Benin.
Pastor.
A man who wants to govern you in your state must show, beyond being an indigenous or a citizen of Edo State, must show that he has invested in Edo State. That is a minimum requirement. But in any event, we have not even reached that level. We don't even know who will be the candidate of the PDP. So it's actually premature now to begin to speculate and talk about, who will be the candidate.
Okay, let me ask my question. Quickly, I wanted to ask you about zoning.
Yes, sir.
You are from Edo South. The people of Edo South have had opportunities to be governor in Edo State. Why do you think that someone from Edo South should be the person now, particularly as Edo Central people, specifically the Esan people, are saying that it's their turn this time around? Not Edo North, not Edo South. What do you say to that?
I think that is a very valid question that you have asked. And for me, I believe that any person from any part of the state, they have a right to be governor. But let me just tell you the facts. There's no senatorial, to be honest, that has not produced governor one time or the other. You might be saying you've not had it long enough, but we cannot compare our place to a place like Benue, for example, where a particular group for the past 47 years have dominated who is governor. That's not the situation in Edo. In Edo South people, like you rightly said, have been governor. Edo North people have been governor. Edo Central people have been governor. That is clear. But I can also tell you that in all of this, let's not generalize by just talking about senatorial district. When you break it down, you will find out that there are certain persons really who have never had the opportunity to be governor. For example, the Onwa people, they are part of Edo State. They have 2 local governments. Well, because they are submerged in Edo North, you might say, Edo North has had governor. But Oshiomhole that was governor is from Esako that has 3 local governments. 2 local governments belong to the Onwas. Brilliant people, very hardworking, they've never had governor. Akoko Edo is also there, one of the oldest local governments that have never been split in this country, and yet they've never had governor. Now, in Edo South, where I come from, we have 7 local governments. And when people say Edo South has had governor, they just forget that we have 7 local governments. Oredo, where is the capital? That is where Osagie comes from. That's where Lucky Gbinedion came from. And that's where Ogbemudia was most of the time. I come from Oriomo. Oriomo is the rural area of Edo South. We have never had governor. We have never had a minister. We have never had a senator. We have never had a speaker. We have never had a chairman of a party. We have no light. We have no water. We have no hospital. We have no institution of higher learning. None of them. And yet, Oriomo, where I come from, has the largest land mass in the state, has the highest gas deposit in the entire country. Oriomo, where I come from. We have never had any this. Esan area, with due respect to them, they have had 5 ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria back to back. They have had numerous speakers of the House of Assembly. They have had chairmen of parties. They have even had governor. They have called the entitled to a senator. But we, because we are in Edo South, we have never had the opportunity to even produce a senator. We have never had, a minister. We have never had a governor. Do you really believe, if you are talking about fairness, a local government like that where I come from should be excluded? Let's be fair. You are a fair man. You look at it. My people are also Edo people. Don't you think they have a right to say we cannot continue like this? There's no light. There's nowhere in a land or in Edo North where you don't have light. There's no light in my place. I have taken 2 transformers there, and yet there's no light because we cannot connect. We don't have the resources to be able to put it together. Okay. I come from a place like that. Do you think it is fair for me to come from a place like that and you tell me, oh, Edo South? Which Edo South are you talking about? Edo South, for crying out loud, has over 58% of the population. Okay. But in that Edo South, you have Oredo, you have a Kobaka. These are the urban areas of Edo South. Pastor. So when you say Edo South, you just generalize, you lump us, among them, and you just think that, oh, it's not fair. Do you know where I come from? Okay. Where I come from, we are suffering.
Okay, Pastor.
But in any event, let me tell you this: I am not against. If my party tomorrow decides to zone and say they are zoning to a particular place, that's the party prerogative.
Okay.
Whoever they want to bring out somebody person. But as long as it is free for all, my people also want to have a governor. Okay. And that will be an Edo governor, not an Oshiomhole governor or an Edo South governor.
Okay, on that note, Pastor IzeIyamu, we would like to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.